this week on Socratic Cinema, they talk about boys in it.
But
They
it's
say
also
sexy a couple of times.
They say sexy.
that was a little shocking. No, but I think this
and
movie's very.
yeah, it really was. Sorry.
This movie's very. Yeah, I was shocked, and frankly, I'm never taking my kids to see another Pixar movie again.
Okay.
As a kid, I had a dance called the butt dance, where I would shake my posterior quite vigorously.
I bet, and it explains how popular you
Bro,
were in
he
middle
was-
school.
Yes. Name 4 traumas.
Dyed hair round 1, dyed hair round 2. Was in a play.
Dad? Mom?
Yes, son.
Yeah.
I think my body's going through some changes. Whenever I watch a movie and I get really, really upset, I feel my arms lengthen and my body get very hairy, and I have very opinionated takes on movies. I think I transform into a podcast host.
Honey,
Oh my god.
it's happening already.
It's
I thought we had a few more years. I thought we had a few more.
already?
I thought we had a few more thousand subscribers at least. It's happening already. That was a good one, Charlie.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah,
and
see?
scene. Yeah, scene.
See?
That was a good
Yeah.
one.
That was great.
Here's where you would do the standing ovation. Right here. Riley, if you could insert at least 20,000 people clapping. I'd like them each individual, and you can record them yourself. But anyways, welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Socratic Cinema. My name is Charlie Heatherly.
My name is James DeLisio.
And I'm Kasey Clark.
And if you couldn't tell from my SNL level intro, we're talking about a little movie called Turning Red, Pixar's newest animated film. There's been a little bit of controversy about it. Apparently, I also can't pronounce the word controversy, but some people really like it and some people really, really hate it. It's super divisive. And I was looking to see what your guys' takes on it are. I know James was like live tweeting his experience in our group chat, and he was not all too happy with some of the characters. So let's start off with your So let's start off with your take. Which
All right.
character?
What did I think of Turning Red, you ask?
Yeah.
Well,
that is
I'm
what I
glad.
asked.
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I wanted to hate this movie. No, I didn't want to, but I thought I was going to.
You racist.
What?
I
Oh,
wow.
wanted to hate this movie, James.
That's
Wow.
not what I'm. Oh, okay.
I see.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Takes one to know
kinda-
one, huh?
You're
Oh.
stealing my top. This is white on white violence.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is
From
statistical
from
crime.
the glitch of verse,
Wow.
Casey's here to tell us off. Charlie,
What?
it takes one to know. First off,
yeah.
it takes one to know one.
okay.
Second
yep,
off-
accepted. Sure. Move on.
Don't accept that. Second off, no, I saw the first trailer and I was like, oh, that doesn't look good. And
I don't
then
get that.
I don't know how to explain. I don't even particularly remember why. I think I was just like, I'm not that interested.
Sure.
And then I didn't really hear anything about it. I kind of forgot it was coming out for like a long time. I'm sorry.
Casey's like Darth Vader. Casey's right next to the mic going.
I'm not even breathing in the mic. I am not even breathing in the mic.
Luke.
Bro, it's my allergies. Leave me alone.
Anyways,
I am your father.
I remembered this movie came out because there was this really this review that got a lot of press attention because it was saying that the film is unrelatable and doesn't appeal to a wide enough audience, and he didn't like it, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, interesting. And also, a lot of people online really don't like this movie. There's a lot of haters about it. Leading up to the release, people were like, "This is ugly."
Yeah, you wanna-
This is this is horrible. No, it's fine. And so I went in with this mindset that it was. Did you think I was going to go back and start over? No. I went in with this mindset that it was going to be bad, right? Both from my own opinions and the opinions of Twitter.com. And then I watched the movie, and it kept on doing things that I thought on paper I would hate, but I couldn't help but be charmed by it. This movie has
Mhm.
a subtle. It's hard not to like it. It's just infectious. All right. It's got that. It's like they took middle school and they distilled it and they made a little potion out of it. And this movie is that's what this movie feels like. It feels like middle school in a nutshell. And it's got that quirky, admittedly cringy middle school charm. Like I would describe this movie as very cringe. And not all of them, but it, like, it worked, right? It wasn't bad. It just I don't know how to explain it, right? It's stuff that I feel like I shouldn't have liked, and yet I did anyways. And also, it's just a nice family story. I think it's a great. I don't know. This is, you know what I'll say about it. Here's what I'll say. This is a take I don't think I've ever had. This is a movie that feels like PG is the right rating. I mean,
hot
Okay.
take.
Listen, I feel like people normally just sort of roll the dice. They flip a coin on whether it's going to be G or PG. This is a movie that should be PG, right? It's not. There's nothing like offensive. There's no PG-13 risque teen content in here.
They talk about boys in it.
But
They
it's
say
also
sexy a couple of times.
They say sexy.
that was a little shocking. No, but I think this
and
movie's very.
yeah, it really was. Sorry.
This movie's very. Yeah, I was shocked, and frankly, I'm never taking my kids to see another Pixar movie again. But it was just. I don't know. There's some point that I'm dancing around, but I don't even know what that point is. I like the movie. I don't know. Admittedly, not all of it worked for me. Some of it was just too cringe to handle. But overall, I think it was a totally fine movie. I don't think it deserved any of the hate it got online. I'd give it, like, it's unapologetic with its aesthetic, though, I will say, and it's like tone. And if you
True.
can't get behind the
Yeah.
tone, then you're gonna have a rough. It's hard to get past that, right? It's so stylistic, and if you're not down with the style, then you're gonna have a bad time with it.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Overall, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Totally,
Okay.
totally
A classic
passing grade.
cop out number. Yeah.
I'd like to know what you meant by that.
Have a strong opinion for once in your life, James.
I'll
Pick a
tell you,
side.
if my opinion was stronger, the number would go down.
Ooh.
That tells you all you need to know. Huh?
Uncalled
That's
for.
hilarious.
Huh?
I can't believe it.
You didn't like the answer you got there, huh? Don't
No,
ask
I
the
di-
question
I-
next time. Don't ask the question next time.
Okay, fine. Kasey, give me an answer that I'll like.
Okay, well, I don't think you're gonna like this, but
What?
Up
No.
top,
I mean,
Kasey. Kasey, up top.
No, not for the second
Yep.
episode in a row.
So I watched this movie with my 11-year-old brother, my 10, 11-year-old brother.
Sure you
Sorry,
did.
Judah. I did too. He's like,
I
you
watched
wanna
it with
watch
my red
that?"
panda.
With my red panda, yeah. And it's interesting because I have brothers on either side of the middle school spectrum, and middle school wasn't that far away for me because I'm young and spry, but
yeah,
also
so much
an
younger
adult.
than us.
I'm the oldest person here.
Casey's the baby of the group.
Oh,
Yeah.
shut up,
A
James.
real child.
Comment below.
Toddler.
Comment
She doesn't
below
know how to
who
do
you
her laundry.
Yeah, comment who you think the baby of the group is.
It's me.
Okay.
Back to you, Kasey.
But this movie, it was okay. It wasn't great. Would I watch it again? Probably not. But
Oh
do
my
I have to
God.
say that I watched it? But did I watch it? And can I say that I watched it? Yes, because I did. But
Oh,
like,
you
would I have
didn't-
watched
you
it?
did
Like,
not like it.
no, it's not even that. I feel like James, what you were saying is completely correct. It is a very specific time period. Like, it is very middle school.
There she goes.
And I think what?
Mhm.
And so like I think finally being outside of middle school, like this is the one movie that I've watched recently where I'm like, this is not for me. Like I am not the age demographic for this.
What?
And movies never do that to me, but I'm like, I'm just not the age demographic for this. And that's okay.
Wow.
And that's okay. Like I understand what's going on because like it's happened to me before. Like, yeah, I've been a 13-year-old girl. Like I've had a crush on some like greasy guys. but I don't
Wow.
necessarily want to relive it for an hour.
No, that's true. That's understandable. There was a lot of times in the movie where I was like, the only reason I'm not annoyed is because I know I was just as insufferable when I was in middle
Yes.
school. You know, it's like I can
I was
Yes.
pretty cool, if we're
I
being
can-
honest. Middle school was a high point for me. Because,
Really?
well, okay, so at my middle school.
No, don't listen to this
No, no, no,
man.
no,
Yeah,
no.
worst of the
So there were
worst.
only 8 people in my grade at middle school, right? And here's
Oh
the
my
advantage that I
gosh.
had going in.
Oh my
The-
gosh.
7 of them had known each other for their entire lives and considered each other brothers and sisters. When I came in, I was the new hot dude, right?
Sixth
So,
grade.
6th grade, I was the talk
Wow.
of the town. All right, I'm telling you, by 8th grade, I had everybody in the pocket of my hand. Everyone wanted to
In the pocket of your
in
hand.
the pocket of my hand.
What does that mean?
It's
It opens
the
a little
kind
flap.
of wit that I used there that charmed them so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a
How
great
many of
middle
those,
school experience.
Many of those people do you still talk to?
None.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Deep cut, Kasey. Kasey, what would you give Turning Red out of 10?
I'd give it probably like a 6.
What?
Oh,
You guys are chaotic. You're so
This is a-
cruel.
this is a spicy episode of
You know
Socratic
what? No,
cinema.
it would be a 5, but because
What?
of the Asian
Whoa.
cast and Sandra Oh, I give it a 6.
Dang, a 6 on
5?
diversity points.
That's
wow.
insane.
Yeah,
So
a
that's
6
just a
on
5.
diversity points.
So that's just a 5 then.
How is this a 5? How did you watch Turning Red and go, that's a 5?
Yeah, okay, Kasey, listen. Listen, I wouldn't go that far. I enjoyed the movie.
You said it was a 7.
Which is
I
2
just
points
thought it
higher.
was
Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa.
okay.
The only thing that I didn't like about this movie is that Miriam stole my style and wore it better. And I
Oh, yeah.
despised that was the case.
Okay, which
The girl who wore green flannels.
Yeah.
it's literally you.
It's just
Okay.
me.
I
Yeah.
know aside
Gender
from
bent Charlie.
Yeah.
that literally is what it is. I just want to say aside from May, they're all just colors. Green girl, yellow girl, pink
Wow,
girl.
that's okay. I'm glad you clarified
Wow. So you're just
what colors you were referring
no.
to.
Wow.
What-
Yeah.
What?
Can't believe it, James.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Speaking
What
of
color's
which,
Tyler then?
Can we
What
all?
color's
Oh,
douchebag then?
Tyler's
Color's a
Tyler.
douchebag.
He's too young to be called that, Kasey.
Oh please!
He had a good
what?
redemption arc.
He's a twerp. That's the official.
Yeah,
MO.
he's a twerp. He's a twerp.
You
But-
can.
Charlie, what do you think
Fine.
about the movie? I don't even.
Because they're gonna make him
Okay.
bully children. Go on, Charlie. What did you think?
So I went into this movie with pretty neutral, or actually no, positive. I think the idea behind this movie is really fun. I like a modern superhero story, but you turn
What?
into a red panda. This is totally a modern superhero story. Absolutely.
Oh, get this
Yeah.
guy out of here.
no, I agree.
what?
He,
She has
Don't let him talk.
superpowers. She
he
turns into a
literally
red
has
panda.
superpowers.
It's a lot like Shazam.
Yo, legit.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Shazam. Yeah.
Shazam 2.
Literally. Shazam 2.
This is Pixar's version of like a modern superhero story. And I mean, like, obviously not all the way. Like, it's not Spider-Man.
Yeah,
But
when does the
it's-
Green Goblin come in and say,
Yo.
"Ha, ha, ha, Red Panda"?
The real villain was literally the friends we made along the way. So,
No, literally. They
Yeah.
suck.
but no, not all of them. Only the girl that screams all the time is awful. And we
Yeah, the
hate her, and there's
the
nothing
pink
redeeming
one?
about her character.
The pink
Yeah,
one?
Abby. Her name
The
is
pink
Abby.
one?
Annoying.
No, you refer to her as the pink one. She doesn't get the distinction of a name.
Oh my gosh.
Not possible. But okay. So I went in thinking that the concept was really cool. And throughout the movie, I was actually pretty impressed with what I was seeing. I think that Pixar's animation is really high quality. I get that some people don't like the style, but I think saying that the style is not their thing is different than saying the movie looks bad. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's,
that is
it's
correct.
certainly
True.
stylistic, and I think it sticks to its style. And it definitely looks like a lot of people put a lot of effort into it. So I quite liked the animation. I laughed out loud a couple times when I was watching the film because it was just a fun, silly, stupid movie. And I think that it explored something that I'm glad Pixar was exploring, which is, you know, the beginnings of when you actually start to, you know, like the people that you like. How does that work? How does that happen? Pixar usually plays it very, very safe. And they don't talk about stuff related to like relationship. Yeah, like even they touched on topics of womanhood. They mentioned periods in the film. Like, to me, that's a very big step forward when it comes to making films for children. We just haven't seen that before from major studios. So that was really cool to me. I liked a lot of the voice acting in the film. I thought that Mei Lee was played really, really well.
Mei Lin.
Mei Lin, I apologize.
It's okay.
All I remember is the mom screaming at her, who was Sandra Oh, and I do love Sandra Oh.
I love Sandra Oh.
yeah.
I do love Sandra Oh. But yeah, and I think the turn where even Tyler's a nice guy, I saw it coming, but it was still fun. I liked how they all vibed at the concert. It just felt pure. Like, it just felt like this is somebody's life story that they have put to a film, and they're willing to tell it and like share it in all of its ugly glory. So I quite enjoyed Turning Red, and I would give it an 8.5, honestly. But here's the take. Here's the actual take.
Okay.
I don't get why people don't like this movie, because this movie is just Luca. It is like, it is all Luca.
There's a hint of Encanto in here.
Hint of Encanto
with topics of generational trauma.
Mostly
that is
Luca.
very true.
Listen, can I say I want to mute the words generational trauma on Twitter now. Since Encanto came out,
oh my
people have not learned how to close their mouths.
Here's the key, James. Don't go on Twitter. It's so simple.
Oh
Here's the thing. People are like, generational trauma, and then they're like, yeah, this is going to be a counseling session. Which, I mean, it's Twitter. You can do that, but I understand what you're saying. Also, does it not make it worse that we just named the last 2 Pixar movies to come out, and we just said that they just chopped them up and put them together and made it about women?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Big
It's
points.
true. Also, wait, hold on, James. It is Mei Lee. Screw you.
I'm on IMDb right now, and it says Mei Lin.
The character's first name is Mei Lin, but her nickname is Mei, and her last name is Lee.
You got lucky and saved.
I didn't get lucky.
You got lucky. Mei Lin Lee.
Name.
You got lucky.
I did not get lucky.
I'll pass it to my good friend Charlie Heatherly. No, listen. Here's my take. All right. You want to hear my take?
Yeah.
This is a good one. I've been cooking this one up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most DreamWorksy Pixar movie I've ever seen.
Oh my
No,
Yes.
I'm not accepting it.
No,
Characters-
aesthetically.
Yeah, aesthetically.
No, not aesthetically. What?
No.
Characters-
Here.
Listen. Characters twerk more than once in this movie.
Yeah.
That was truly abhorrent and
What's so
repugnant.
wrong with that, Kasey?
No, I hated it. I'm sorry. Those were my least favorite parts of the movie.
To be like, oh yeah, I enjoy. You want? I
You don't
can't
have
even
to
say
enjoy it.
that because
What?
someone's going to clip it.
Okay, wait. Since when has this been a crazy thing? Since when is this a crazy thing to put on film?
Like,
I've never
it's not a crazy thing.
Charlie,
I just don't. Like,
it's not new. I've just never liked it.
That's just what kids do. That's how kids dance.
You know,
Okay,
you know,
I think
As a kid, I had a dance called the butt dance, where I would shake my posterior quite vigorously.
I bet, and it explains how popular you were in
he
middle
was-
school.
Yes. I pulled
He
that
was
one out
just
at middle school
throwing it in a
dances.
circle, bro.
Allow me
They
to
were-
pull up.
They were
Guys,
throwing money at.
I'd like to cite a I would like to cite a scientific paper.
Yeah.
I would like to cite a scientific paper from 2021. It was done by 3 PhD students who also run an audio-visual podcast.
Mhm.
It was called the DeLisio Socratic Pixar Deep Curve
I knew
Identifications.
you were going to bring this up. I knew you were going to bring it up.
This film upholds. Oh wait, what was the last Pixar movie?
It wasn't Encanto.
Yeah, that was
so-
Disney. So it was
It is-
Luca.
The last one was Luca, so you lose.
So therefore, I say this one was really deep, and the curve holds.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
no,
I-
actually,
no,
no,
I
that's
want
worse.
to hear James try to argue that this movie is deep.
This
because
movie-
we can get into it.
Sure, James.
it doesn't quite fit the Pixar deep curve as much as I'd like it to. If you incorporate, if you fold Disney in and count Encanto as a
Okay,
deep one,
no,
then,
that
Man,
doesn't.
The
you
short
can't.
story, the short film Bow that
No.
played before whatever movie is deeper than this. It deals with the same thing.
Yeah, and
Feeling overbearing. Okay, Charlie. Never mind. I'm just gonna
and
stop
Kasey,
talking.
huh? Trying to make a smart point on the podcast show where we all respect each other and give each other time.
I'm just
No, you're
just
right. You're right.
saying,
You're right.
This movie, I'm not saying it's bad. The aesthetics of
you
it.
gave it a 5.
They
Yeah, you gave it a
committed to
5.
They committed to the aesthetic. They were so brave. So brave.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait, no.
But-
I'm
but
gonna say
the
something
movie-
nice.
The movie gives me the vibe where you know how like people are in the writers' room being like, Gen Z is gonna eat this up. We're gonna
Norm
put
of the
so many
North.
dabs. We're gonna put so many Fortnite dances into this thing. Their mind's gonna
There's no
explode.
Fortnite dances.
No,
There's
that's not
none.
what I'm not saying that. So they did the same thing without all the corniness, but
Mm,
it still feels the same. It still feels like you're trying to like capture, like that's what we're saying. We're trying to capture that like essence of like utter, utter cringe.
Yeah, I would say whether you like this movie or dislike it, cringe is an integral part of the film's character. Like I genuinely
and that's
believe that.
fine.
Yeah. So, but
we
but
all
the thing
like
is,
The Office.
yeah. But I'm just saying that like different people will react to that differently. Like I thought most of the cringe worked in the context of the movie. Some of it was a little too much for me. I
Get a
just
stronger constitution.
like a
Right.
like a document.
Do some moral push-ups, and maybe you'll be able to take it like I have.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm
I
telling
do
you,
want to
my
say,
dignity is swole.
listen, I'm gonna say something nice about it. All right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
go on.
I really like the visual style. I really like all the little like the little dramatic bits they do where they'd get really like creative with the lighting and all these micro scenes within scenes. Need I bring up the cooking montage? Need I bring it
Incredible
up?
montage. Yeah.
Incredible, beautiful,
That's
Mhm.
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
genuinely a blissful like minute of film.
Yeah, but that was like Pixar bait. Like that was them going like, we know you guys like it when we put food on the screen, so here's us turning that up to 11.
Yeah,
Like,
and I don't care if Studio Ghibli did the same thing where they were like, oh, we know you guys like putting food on the screen. Here's a minute of it. Everyone would go crazy. I love it. Right? If I like the thing and you give me more of it, of course I'm gonna like it. I have no complaints. And while I don't like, I honestly, I mean, I don't dislike any of the designs in this movie, but while I feel like some of them were not my personal cup of tea, I think that overall, this film was a nice visual evolution for Pixar. They really tried, I think they tried new stuff that we
Yeah.
hadn't seen before. A little like, maybe a little hint of inspiration from like Mitchell's versus the Machines with the whole like Y2K-ness of it and like rapid, fast-paced, jokey editing. But I really
True.
like the visuals. I think I don't think anyone was like ugly in it. I think there was some real nice,
Yeah, the pink
geometrically
girl.
pleasing. Yeah, well, that's not about her design. I'm not talking about personalities. I really don't like the pink girl.
She's built like a brick.
She added nothing to the film, frankly.
What, Kasey?
Is it just bro?
Yeah. And I can
Hey,
bully
Charlie,
kids.
you didn't know me when I listen. We're not gonna. I looked more like the pink girl.
James, there was
James
a time
Lore.
once upon the moon. That's another phrase that I've made up.
Once
in this
upon the moon.
Once upon the moon, meaning there was a time at one point that I was also built like a brick.
And she's a brick. Boom, 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 boom. House.
Brick.
Nice song break, guys. Where do we
I'm
go
glad
from
we
here?
can come together for these moments of
Another song,
refuge.
Come Together?
Right.
Come together. Oh,
Okay, listen, is this going to get nominated for Best Animated Picture? Yes, it is.
Yes,
it's
yeah.
gonna get nominated. But okay,
Deserve it?
I just
yes,
my
Kasey.
my brain is torn in two because I just this film, it doesn't feel like it came out of the same studio as like Soul,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
God. It would only feel like it came out of the same studio as Soul if the movie before it was deep. That hasn't
Yeah,
happened.
no, you're actually starting to get it now.
It's just
no,
two
but
kinds of
I don't
movies.
know.
Pixar's a movie maker.
Oh,
He
he's
makes
glitching
children's.
out. Craig
Yeah.
knows he's making a bad take, so it's glitching him out.
Hey. God, I'm indignant right now. Pixar
You
has
sound
made,
indignant.
it's made children's movies. They made Cars. Cars isn't a deep movie at all. It's stupid and filled with talking cars, and the second and third ones are also bad. Like, look, Pixar can make childish things, and I think that that's fine. And I choose not to judge it for that. I choose to embrace the childishness of it all. and look at it as if I were in middle school still. And I think if I was still in middle school, I would really enjoy this film. I think it probably speaks to some of the things that I'm going through. And I think it's important for kids to be able to talk about some of the issues that this film raises. And they wouldn't be able to do that if they hadn't seen this movie or if this movie wasn't made. It represents an era of animation in which we could be more open about more adult concepts that are directly related to existentialism.
Charlie,
and I'm happy
what's
for
up with your internet?
What's up with my internet?
Yeah, that was a really
Ask-
impassioned speech.
Yeah, it was.
No, and I want to say I agree with most of what you said there. I feel I want to make it clear. I'm in the middle ground for once. Isn't that a trip? I'm never in the middle ground.
You're in the middle ground plenty of times.
Allow me to see both sides.
We're all indecisive.
Oh, that's our best bit. That was the best joke we've ever made. No, I agree with most of what you're saying. I think this film fits a niche that didn't exist yet. Like, I think this is truly a middle school movie, the likes of which we've only seen in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You know what I'm saying? This goes in the middle school canon. But I wanted to also bring up the time period. I was talking to someone and they said that this movie wouldn't work in a post cell phones world. Like, the plot of it wouldn't work if there were smartphones, because you just like, oh, bing bang boom, sell pictures of the panda online, go viral, everyone in the world knows about it, and the movie's over. And I just, in general, I feel like I haven't seen.
Yeah.
That's not a dig. That's just an observation. Like, it was a smart choice to set this movie in the early 2000s. It's something that I've never, like, I have a hard time thinking of movies that didn't come out in the early 2000s that are set in the early 2000s. You know, it was sort of a weird moment for me seeing this become like a period piece. Like, kids growing up right now weren't like alive during that time, you know, like, this is a period piece for them, and that's so strange.
We barely were.
Barely.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. Ain't that a kick in the head?
It's a total revival of the 90s and 2000s right now. Like, one of the weirdest trends that I've noticed is I'm in a graphic design class, and I'm in there with a bunch of design majors, and all of these design majors have the same aesthetic. It's like 2000s era grunge with like tons of chrome and tons of like ugly collage sort of things, and, you know, bright washed out colors. I don't really know how those two words go together, but it makes sense if you see it. Like, it just has this 2000s aesthetic, a very collage-y to the 2000s loved collage. And like, it's coming back, and I think it's finally coming back in the filmmaking, because all the people that grew up in that era are now seasoned veterans in the industries that they're in. So now they're going to start making films about these experiences, which is why it feels like it's similar to Mitchell's versus the Machines, when in reality, it's just a bunch of like millennials who finally are directors now who can talk about this stuff.
So true.
Yeah, that is, yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. Wow. That was an astute observation.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Not unusual for me.
Yeah. It's still a 7.
Okay.
I don't listen.
Those diversity brownie points.
There's no part of this film that I can point to and be like, I hate it. That was bad. It's just that, like, overall, I don't know. It was just
overall, it was okay.
It was good. I would probably rewatch it. Like, if I was with some youngsters who were like, let's watch a movie, Uncle James. I was like, sure. Yeah, I'll watch it with you.
That's the thing, James. If you were in a group of people our age, would you be like, when they're like, oh, let's watch a movie, you'd be like, oh, let's watch Turning Red?
I would never suggest that we watch Turning Red. No,
but that's someone of the movie's quality.
I'm just making the weirdest, like, quality markers that I can. If someone else brought it up in the group, I wouldn't say no. I'd be like, yeah, sure. But I wouldn't be like, guys, Turning Red.
I would not watch this movie with a group of 18 to 20-year-olds. That is not what I would do. I would, it's a movie for kids, it's for children, and that's
so
fine.
you say, and yet you liked it. You must be a child.
I'm a child at heart, and that's what makes me special, James.
Okay. There's a lot more than that makes you special.
Oh my god. gosh. Enough.
Hurt my feelings. Oh my
Wow.
God. Hey, so wait. Hold on. Let's step
You
away
got a
from the
problem?
slap fight for a second. Let's talk about some actual specific. I want
You
favorite
cut out,
characters.
so I don't know what you said.
It's-
Specifics.
I want specifics. Give me your favorite character now.
May and her mom.
You're so boring.
Both of them are my
You're so
favorites.
boring.
And I liked Tyler.
The dad.
Okay.
Actually, okay, fine.
The dad is the correct choice.
The dad is the
Yellow's
correct
my
one.
favorite. Oh my gosh, you're
yeah.
right. I forgot. I forgot. That's the dad. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
dad by a mile and a half.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He
He's
can
so
cook,
sweet. He
nailed
can
it.
cook.
Yeah, no, the dad was. This was an excellent. This was an excellent
excellent,
one. Yeah, the flavor in this dish was just immaculate.
Yeah. Also, I saw this post on Twitter, which it's like a screen grab of the one scene where May's mom's like, "Are you sure mathletes is it seems kind of dangerous. Are you kidding me? You're telling me an overbearing, overprotective, like pushing to perfection parent's not gonna want you to be in mathletes?"
This
I
is
think
true.
I think it was only dangerous because of the whole red panda thing. Like
As
I
a
think in any
former athletes captain.
Because of the
yeah.
she's just
I know.
May's mom's explanation is that it's an extracurricular after school activity.
I think her point
It's
is
not
that,
the archery club.
but I think
It's the red panda. Is
Well,
is
yeah,
the point.
I think that movie is forgetting the context of that scene where no one in the family is sure how well she can control her panda powers, and so she should be in public as little as possible.
Okay, that's.
I mean,
fair.
also away from the panda powers, mathletes is a very dangerous activity.
Oh, life or death,
Oftentimes,
yeah.
I had to risk my life in order to solve calculus equations.
L plus bozo plus mathlete captain.
It's. I will wear one of those with pride, and you
Yep.
won't know.
I mean,
which
I'm
one.
not much better. I was the
Won't know
president
which
of the
one.
art and philosophy club. Like
Okay,
none
but
of
I
us
was vice
listen-
president of the art.
You
Foley
were
Club,
right, my right hand.
which is-
Yes, sir.
which
Shake
is
my
Look at
hand.
cringy.
these freaking nerds, guys. Look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And look at us now.
You know what I
dance
was?
team
I was the
captain?
president of the
Oh.
dance team. I was president of BSU.
Oh, go
Casey
look-
was
go
like
do a
leading
little-
the she had
Go do a little
Glasses
pirouette
ring
or something,
glamour.
Casey.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about
Mm.
Play-Doh.
You have trophies, huh?
I don't
Huh?
have any trophies.
I actually have a trophy. We gave ourselves a trophy. That's what we did.
You know, I
The
was supposed to get
mathletes team
a.
held
Somebody
a
just got
tournament
really
at the
big
school,
yourself.
and then a team that was made of only mathletes won the entire thing. So we gave ourselves a trophy.
Really, one of you guys won. I thought they were just going to call stalemate. Of course, one of you guys won.
Well, no, there were other people that joined the tournament that were not athletes.
Wasn't
So
that
Oh.
an overnight thing?
no, that was the Wake-a-thon.
The
That's some-
wake-a-thon. I did
That's some
that
real.
one.
You know
years.
why we're talking about our high school memories?
Because of turning red.
Because of Turning Red.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It made me think about my time in middle school, and I think,
we're talking about high school.
but it also made me think about my time in middle school.
Yeah, I
and high
couldn't
school.
relate to much of it when it was middle school related.
Let's do some
but-
reflecting then, James.
Mhm.
How was
Yeah.
your time in middle school?
Yeah.
It was a dark era for me. I had dyed hair for a time.
Name 4
I-
traumas.
Proof.
Dyed hair round 1, dyed hair round 2. Was in a play.
Cool.
And
I also want proof.
I'll
Yeah.
give you guys all proof of this after the show. Listen, the viewers are getting enough lore as it is right now. What's a
Good,
fourth
good.
trauma? I don't even. I've done so many embarrassing things. Oh man, I'll have to think about trauma 4, but those are 3 pretty classic middle school traumas, I think. I also hate myself for using the word trauma so many times in a row after I pledged to mute that word on Twitter like an hour ago.
You
It's fun.
said generational trauma is the thing you wanted to be.
Oh,
I'm
like with a
saving you
hyphen,
right
like
now.
one word? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, on that point, let's talk about the relationship between the main character, May, and her mom.
Mhm.
And then we can also talk about May's mom's relationship with her mother, so May's grandma.
Mm.
Yeah.
How are we
Oh.
feeling?
One thing I didn't like is that they did the trope where it's the old Asian woman is just really scary and mean. Like that's a trope that I feel like happens a lot in movies that have an Asian cast, and
Mm.
they definitely did it this one for the grandma. I did think that the aunties were very funny. I know that that's also another trope, but that was, I feel like that one is less problematic. It is also pretty funny. Uh,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I
and
thought that. I see what
I
you're saying, though.
love
It
a
is.
good
Yeah.
auntie ensemble. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
totally.
I didn't like the grandma too much. I didn't like her character. I didn't think she had that much depth to her. Like she was just sort of being strict and mean for the sake of being strict and mean. And I get the whole like, oh, but what about the red panda thing? We got to protect the whatever. Like I don't know. It felt one dimensional to me. But I really
I
liked
think,
the
yeah.
mom. The mom was very three dimensional, and
She
so
was,
was
yeah, she
Maylee.
was a very, very good character. I think May and the mom super strong, and I love how that relationship immediately like the film opens and you're like, this mom's a jerk, I hate her. And then, once you see the grandma, it's all recontextualized and you get the fuller picture. And I think it's a nice reminder. Whereas Encanto was very much about the effects of generational trauma on the youngest generation, I feel
Mhm.
like this film put more of a spotlight on the middle generation that was both
Yeah.
a victim and a perpetrator, uh, which I feel
Mhm.
like is an angle that we didn't really get in Encanto. It was just kind of like, I don't know, the parents weren't really that deep of characters in that movie. Um, but I really liked the way that was all handled in this film, because nobody's parents are perfect, and everyone tries to be better than their parents were, and they hope that their kids are better than they were. And I think this movie did a really good job at showing that relationship and how they could be friends. Like from the start of the film, they have very positive, healthy interactions. It's just a matter of miscommunication and you know cycles and patterns that have gone on for far longer than any one of them can control. But I think that was probably the that and the middle schoolish charm were the two strongest factors of the movie by far. So I thought this really did a great job with that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I agree. I think the strongest part of the movie, as James was saying, was the relationship between May and her mom. Like, I feel like the mom had a good like character arc. Like you would expect her to do all these things that could be negative towards May, but she doesn't see them as negative because she's like so tunneled vision on trying to protect May and trying to look out for her and thinking that she has everything. She has May's best interest at heart all the time, and May should just cave in and listen to her. And I feel like a lot of people do go through that where they do have parents who think they're doing the best for them, but the best for them during one season isn't the best for them anymore. And they also have to like be able to step back and let their children, and in this case May, like her mom needed to let her bloom and actually like go out and experience things and do things, because essentially what happened is because she didn't, May ended up doing it anyways, and it ended up being a whole big mess. So all that to say, don't repress your children. um anyways.
I wanted to let the silence hold
Don't
there for a second so
your
we could all just,
children.
yeah, we could just kind of sit in that one for a bit. Yeah, no, I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone who would say that like that was poorly handled. I have seen a shocking amount of people literally being like, "This is just a copy paste of Encanto," but that's so
It's not, I
like
don't.
I mean, one is just not like thematically, and also it's so improbable that they like actually they colluded behind the scenes.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I think so much of the internet backlash to this is just plain like stupid. Um,
Yeah.
I think, okay, I will say, like, again, my first impression of the movie was that I wasn't gonna like it. Like I didn't have much interest in it. But I think if you can like if you're feeling put off by like the how over the top confident and this movie is in itself, you might find a really charming core underneath, or it might prove to be too much. And I think it's okay. Like, I think it's okay. You know, if this movie doesn't work for you, I don't think you're like a bad person or that you like missed. It's like, oh, you didn't pick up on the hidden subtext. I think, you know, not every style works for every person, and that's fine. But I do think this film definitely is playing an important role in creating the PG sphere, where we have
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like this movie is more mature than Baby G movies, but it's also not. All I think of when I think of PG-13 now is like
Marvel.
MCU, you know, haha swear words and like maybe an F bomb. Just like the Batman is carving out a new space for PG-13, Turning Red is carving out a new space for PG. I heard someone say that they're retiring G as a rating, just like there will be no more G movies. And I
That'll
think
be it.
I think this movie proves why we still need a distinction between G and PG. Because
Mhm.
like this movie just doesn't work for like little kids, I feel like. I mean, this is very clearly
Oh
tailored
no.
to the like 12 to 14 age range.
Here's my thing with the way that movies work is I don't think
Can you say that again?
they're actually useful. Here's the thing, or here's my thing with how movie ratings work. I think they're actually that useful. And I think that honestly, we should abolish the system because I don't really care where a movie lands inside of the movie rating sphere. It's nice if you're a parent, but the better thing is if somebody else watches the movie and you research it and you see exactly what themes they're talking about. Like G and PG are shorthand for that, I guess, but you would still want to be able to actually look at the movie if you're worried the content won't be suitable.
Yeah. Oh my
Weird.
gosh, Charlie, you're
So
so
in moving
glitchy, but I
Deadwood,
hear
Yeah,
you.
you're very
could be. Yeah. Speak for me then. Speak
Yeah,
for
no,
my point.
what my good friend Charlie would like to say is that G and PG aren't specific enough to serve as a really good indicator of the actual content of the movie. And they put those little things like suggestive content, you know, mild brief peril or whatever. Um, but that's not that helpful for a parent trying to decide whether their kid can see this movie or not. And Charlie instead advocates for like a more detailed system where a parent can go and see specifically like what potentially offensive content is in the movie.
Mhm.
And there are things like that out there, like Common Sense Media, which I despise because they seem to overblow things, in my opinion. Um, but what I have found that I really like, because sometimes like I'm a little bit of a baby and I don't like very scary things. So sometimes before I watch a movie, I will go on IMDb Parent Guide
Yep,
to
parent
to
guide,
to see how scary it
baby.
is. IMDb Parent Guide is like what is how we should do movie ratings, I think, at this point. Because it's exactly what Charlie's asking for, where it's like a non-spoilery, detailed rundown of like all the things that you might find objectable in this in the movie, and they have them for like every single movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, all that to say, check out if you ever want to see if this movie might be too scary. I recommend IMDb Parent Guide.
Yeah. Or even it's just content warnings. Like it'll give you whether or not there's substances. It can put you to like the scene. It'll say how many times a profane word is used. Like they're really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Uh especially since like I work at a school. So like even though this would be targeted towards our like middle school audience, like we probably wouldn't be able to play it at school. I mean, then again, I work at a private school, so it is different. But
Yeah.
because of like some of the like themes, which are great themes, but some of the like not even themes, some of like the side conversations or just like the focus on boys, like the use of like the word pervert or like sexy is incredibly like in a PG movie. I mean, sure, but it definitely caught me aback. Like I heard it and I was like, did they say
Yeah,
what I thought they
yeah.
said?
But Disney's been doing this for a little while now. There was another, I forgot what movie it was, but there was another one where they said like, I think they might have even said like, what the hell at one point. Maybe it was onward. I don't remember, but I think. Does anyone have any other closing takes on Turning Red, perhaps before I steer us into to Shill Harbor?
Be optimistic, be happy, and be a child when you watch Turning Red. It makes it more fun.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah,
that guy
that's
said.
out.
You're kidding. You can't understand me?
No,
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 I
you're. Oh,
didn't.
I
I
was
heard you,
I was trying to
Charlie.
roast you. Sorry. Yeah, we've been having audio internet jump scares all evening, but
God.
I think that's gonna do it for our Turning Red conversation. A more controversial pick for Socratic cinema, more divisive. I think if we include Kasey's diversity points, we're looking at the Socratic rating of like a 7.2. And if we don't include Kasey's diversity points, we're looking at a 6.8. So about passing overall. The average Socratic
Yeah,
rating is that,
it's a
yeah,
C.
this is a thumbs
Wow.
up. This is a thumbs up, would recommend. Watch it with your 12 to 14-year-old. And maybe you can either this movie will either allow you to skip out on an awkward conversation, or it will ensure that you have an awkward conversation right after the movie. But this is a great. It's a nice, charming watch. You know, Pixar. I don't think Pixar's ever made a bad movie, and this keeps that pattern up. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today on Pixar's Turning Red. And if you enjoyed the episode, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the episode with some friends, either so that you guys can laugh at us together and how stupid we are, or so you can say, look at how smart these guys are. Either or, doesn't matter. Share it with a friend if you're so inclined. You could also support us monetarily by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Socratic Cinema for as little as $1 a month. And you can keep up with all our activities on social media. You can find us on Instagram at Socratic_cinema and Twitter.com @CinemaSocratic. Thank you again so much for listening, and I hope you have a blessed night. Goodbye.
Adios.
Adios.